I'm Jonathan Charles, live in Moscow as the votes are counted in one of Russia's most controversial elections. Well, let's try to look behind the headlines now to see what all this really means. I'm joined by John Bonar of Media Solutions. John, you've been in Russia, what, 12 years?
12 years.
How do you view this election?
I think the election is relatively fair because I can cast my mind back to the absolute abuses of the 1996 elections. And I think it's reasonably fair. And I think that if you view the progress of Russia towards democracy as being a little bit like a pendulum, right now it's swinging very much towards authoritarianism and autocracy. And I have a feeling that with Putin no longer president but stepping back and guiding, if you like, the Putin plan, which is much vaunted by United Russia, there will be a swing back to the middle.
I suppose President Putin's supporters will say Russia doesn't really work as a natural democracy. It has to be what they would describe as a managed democracy with some sort of centralised power.
Well, I think at this stage, it's probably the best thing for securing the economic growth and the continued economic growth that he's achieved to date. I mean, one of the interesting...
And he is genuinely popular, isn't he?
He is very genuinely popular. But, I mean, one of the things that a lot of people misunderstand about Russia is they think it's an oil-based economy. And yet the Russian Gostat figures say that oil and gas and all mining, all mineral resource mining, which includes diamonds, coal, gold, accounts for less than 11% of the GDP and 1.5% of the workforce. And there is a diversification, and the diversification has been going on, I would say, since 1995. That's the year when Cadbury made the decision to build their largest chocolate factory outside the UK here. And they didn't do that in order to sell chocolate to oil men.
All right, John, thank you very much indeed. And it really does look as though President Putin is now going to be a fixture in Russian politics for a considerable amount of time to come. It's going to be very interesting to see how that develops. But for the moment, from the freezing cold here in Moscow, back to you in London.
Jonathan, thanks very much. Jonathan Charles.